So for hanging out and living in the bus, I've got everything running kind of worst case scenario for noise right now. Bus is idling, generator's running, and the AC is going. So this is about as loud as it's going to get in here from the systems running, just to give you an idea of a baseline. Now, if you want to make it louder, we've got a Boss all-in-one infotainment here. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, AM, FM, XM, all that good stuff. And it even has the backup camera, which you can actuate manually like I just did, or by putting it into reverse. That'll also kick on the backup camera. And that'll make things louder through a set of 4 JBL 6.5-inch Marine speakers with tweeters that are on all 4 corners of the bus. Yes, even in the shower, that's why they're Marine speakers. So, you got your tunes going. You want to just hang out and relax. Got a couch here that does pull out into a full bed. This whole frame down here slides out to about here, to the same as a full-size mattress. And if you want to just sit, 42-inch high, live edge walnut bar top. And all 3 bar stools lock against the walls so they don't go running away while you're driving down the road. Now you got your place to sit, you got your place to hang out, you want some food going, got you covered there too. This is a Panasonic Genius all-in-one. Looks like a microwave, does way more stuff. We haven't even disassembled this. We're going to leave it all packaged up for you to set up and use the first time. But this can do air frying, it can broil, it can microwave, and it can bake like a standard oven. It's a really, really smart little thing, and it draws 1,000 watts, so it won't overpower any of the systems in here. Down below, this is the Iceco. It is a dual zone, dual mode, dual power fridge freezer. So I'll pull it out here and show you real quick what we got going on. It also has a battery backup in it, which is super nice. We've got your 2 zones here and here. One can be fridge, one can be freezer, or they can both be either one. So you can have this thing all freezer or all refrigerator, depending on what you need. Dual power, you've got dual lines in here and here. So you've got your AC above for shore power or generator, and DC for running the lithium-ion battery or off of the bus's own electrical system. And this panel here on the front is how you control the whole thing. Power on mode, which will switch between what side you want, and this changes the temperature for each individual zone. Now, another cool thing this will do is if you push it halfway in, it locks to give you a little bit more counter space, which you can then take one of these, set it up as an additional chopping board. This can also slide out if you want to and remount in the same place as this, just to give you a little bit more room, and some pretty clever packaging, making the most of the space we've got in here. Now over here, this is a Duxtop induction cooktop. Great for RVs because it is the most efficient way to heat up a pot or a pan, as long as it is magnetic. It uses magnets inside of it to heat the pan directly, so this stays cooler than a standard electric cooktop would, and it heats quicker and uses the electricity more efficiently to do so. Like, I can turn this thing all the way up to 9, actually all the way up to 10, let's go, but I can put my hand on it and it'll flash E0, meaning it didn't find anything magnetic, so there's no resistance. So it will safety itself off. And even if, let's say, you have a pan on there, a pot, and you want to move it over and put it here in the sink. Cutting board, rinsing rack, drying rack here, all on these little modular rails. But put the pan in there, it'll immediately safety itself to E0 as soon as it detects the pan is gone. And because it heats the pan itself, this will still be hot, but it won't be delete the skin off of your hand hot, which is really, really nice. USB up front with the driver, the line ins for your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Here on the side of the couch / pull-out bed, you've got USB and USB-C chargers here on both sides, as well as standard wall outlets with USB ports up here and on the back of the inverter. Kick on the breakers down here. You can hit the AC up here. Now this is a Coleman 8000 series roof-mounted AC with heater as well, so it can do both, as well as just recirculating air acting as a fan. You need to get air out. Got a roof-mounted vent fan there, and to push a little extra air around, we got this guy up here, swivels, does all the things. Whole kitchen sink here. Sprayer wand detaches, does the usual stuff. This here is a filtered spigot for your clean drinking water, which as we go underneath, you'll see separate charcoal water filter for your drinking water. And then you got your red and green PEX tubing for hot and cold water in, and the main plumbing there, which leads down to the gray water tank underneath the bus. Here in the shower control there. You got your wand, 10-inch square rainfall shower head right there in the middle, and that all drains right through a central floor drain, again, running to that gray water tank. Now, the heart of the system is all behind here. This is illuminated, so when you got your water level filled, you can see where it lands on the tank if it's more than about a quarter full. And open, you just pull this down, reach here, and the whole thing pops out, and then you can just lift it away carefully to spin it out of this space. And what I'm just going to do, pop it right in here. It has metal claws on the bottom that hook into this rub rail. But this is the heart of it. This is that 35-gallon fresh water clean tank. Down here, you've got your pump, your accumulator, your pressure tank basically, and your hot water heater. That's a 2.5-gallon Bosch hot water heater. That pressure accumulator keeps everything right about 45 PSI, 40 to 45. And this is a 3-gallon a minute, 45 PSI pump. Now you hear it's off right now. If I kick on the sink, cue it roar to life. And it'll keep going until it pressurizes that accumulator tank back up to pressure. So you're never lacking for water pressure in this thing. And this tank here, all of the lines for the plumbing are here, so you can individually shut off systems and circuits, open the tank to purge it and drain it completely, open these and then go through a backflow valve there to pump water out to completely drain the system for winterizing or cleaning. And this tank, in addition to having a fill here on top internally, on the outside of the bus, just beyond that wall, there's an external fill, which I'll show you right now. So just behind this little panel on the back passenger side of the bus is your fill. It is keyed and locking so no one can mess with your water supply, and you can fill that tank right through there. Straight down below is a 60-gallon gray water tank with a remote dump valve, which is all controlled from inside. Those inside controls are all run from right here. This is a power for your water pump. This is an illumination, just a light in the tank so you can better see your water level. This kicks on the dump for that gray water tank so you can drain it without crawling under the bus. And then this is just a cooling fan switch for the electrical cabinet, which I'll get into in just a minute. A lot going on with the electrical system on this bus. It is pretty robust, so we'll start right in the heart. This is the main power panel right behind the driver's seat. Now, the engine is idling and the generator isn't running. We're not on shore power, so the only things lit up in here are the inbuilt light on a little switch and the solar controller. This is just showing that we're pulling power from the panels, they're going into the battery, and once the battery's at a float charge, it's then flowing out to power accessories here in the bus. Over here are fuses for all of the 12-volt DC stuff here in the bus. This is the main power kill, and this is the solar power kill, or the solar disconnect. This is a pure sine wave inverter, which is really helpful when you're running, specifically running the generator or on shore power, just to keep everything copacetic, AC and DC, and to avoid the fluctuations and spikes so it doesn't nuke your, appliances, or if you're charging like small devices in here, it smooths out the electrical signal so everything works as best as it can. Down below automatic transfer switch when you're running either line in or the generator, so it'll carry everything over. Down below that are your two big circuit breakers. If you look here, you can see the plug and the door for your shore power. So there's an exterior door here that opens up, run that cable out, and you can plug into any normal shore power outlet. And this here's your big fuse box. So this runs all the big stuff in here. Refrigerator, oven, AC unit, your induction cooktop, hot water heater, and we've got two spares here just in case. Since I'm not running anything, I have the breakers switched to off, but kick them on and they'll fire right up. We've got a few more things repeated up here, like a standalone screen for that inverter, and this here is for that liquid-cooled Honda generator. Hold it down. Once it comes up to RPM, the light comes on, and you're good to go. Now that we got the Jenny running, it'll start feeding power in, and we can start bringing some of these other systems online. Now the generator's running, the automatic transfer switch kicked over, the big sine wave inverter has kicked on, and now showing that we've got power going both from the generator to charge and keep that battery at fully charged, so afloat, and then this showing electricity running to all of the other systems here on the bus. While the generator's screaming away, I'll lift up this and show you that big lithium-ion battery pack we got underneath. Slide the tray out and you can get a better idea. Super simple, but big 300 amp power's got great reserve capacity. And if we go along here, just behind it, I don't feel like lifting the battery out, but on those posts behind the battery is a 300 amp maxi fuse, just as a final safeguard against any, any possible electrical issues. Out here on the driver's side of the bus, this is that door for your shore power. So when you're running it, you can run it out through there, shut this, keep everything sealed up. And right here, humming away, is that Honda liquid-cooled RV generator. Automatic kicks on from the switch inside, so you got to fight with a pull cord. Got its own circuit breakers and safeties built right in. Two other things, we'll go up and take a look at those panels right quick. Just a real quick look under the little car cover here. We've got those 4 40 amp solar panels mounted to the roof right in the center. And one last nice thing to note, if you want just a quick, easy glance, like let's say you have the actual van chassis running and you're running the stuff out back, this will show you the alternator output and the vehicle battery versus the state of charge and amperage in that lithium-ion deep cycle battery. So this will show that it's being charged, and this will show that one's unaffected. Plus, there's a battery isolator, so neither one of them can backfeed and drain either one, so you'll always have power to start the vehicle up.